All right, welcome back, everyone. So we've already heard the stories of Manny and Nikki, who have shared their experience with us in living in the foster care system. But now we're going to share the story, or we're going to hear the story of a professional who's been in this field for over 20 years. I'd like to welcome to the panel Xavier Leonard. Welcome, Xavier.
Thank you, Jose.
Of course. Now, first of all, thank you for coming. And I'd like to first ask you, how long have you been doing this, and what is it that motivated you to work in a system like this?
Well, I've been a school psychologist and a psychotherapist for like 24 years. I originally was in New York, but I've been out here for about 22 years. And in 14 of those years, I worked for an agency called GLASS, which stands for Gay and Lesbian and Adolescent Social Services. Mm-hmm. And we had a number of group homes, about 6 group homes, as well as like a mental health treatment center where we provided counseling and groups to help them to deal with the variety of issues that they had coming from being in the system. And unfortunately, Manny and Nikki's stories are very common to what I've experienced being on the end and seeing what these kids came with when I work with them. But I'm so proud of these two for how they've overcome and come on the other side, because they need more role models out there to see that they can get through it, you know.
And I definitely do agree. I think that, like I mentioned earlier, that their stories can motivate children who they are mentoring to rise above what maybe is considered as an unideal situation, so to speak. Now, for you, you've done it for so long. What is it that's motivated you to stay in this field for so long?
Just seeing some of them just have a glimmer of hope, you know, that they can overcome and that they can make a difference in their lives and other people. You know, it pained me. I never forget some of the most painful moments I had was being in family therapy sessions with these students and these young people, and the parents would just totally not accept them, and they would just break down, you know, in my office, and that hurt. That pain, it just stuck with me, and I felt like I had to help them to get past that. And even if it meant helping them to realize that they had to let go of that family or that person if they weren't ready to accept them for who they are, mm-hmm. but they had the opportunity to reach out and create their own family of friends from other people who did accept them, because blood equals relative, but love equals family. That's what I was told when I was in church.
That is very, very true. So that pain comes from a relatable experience, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to say a little bit about that?
Well, I actually came from me and my brother. I had an older brother who was also gay, and he came out at a very young age at 14, and I was 12 at the time. And my father was, at that time, very typical, non-accepting man in terms of his son being gay, and it kind of pushed me down in terms of my sexuality. But I'm happy to say that before my father passed away, he changed in his perceptions of that, and he ended up coming out to be at my engagement party when I got engaged.
That's
so
amazing.
My father was a testimony of change, that it can happen, and so I want people to know that there is a possibility of people to change over time.
So do you want to maybe explain that to them? Because I mean, I feel that your stories are very, very touching, but unfortunately, I wouldn't want there to be for you guys like a sense of resentment. You don't want that, and I'm assuming that that was a good thing for you, right? Because it allowed you to maybe let go of that if you even had it.
Right, but I think when I heard Nikki tell her story, and I think that it does have to be in your own terms and on your own time. And I think my father was a Leo, and I'm a Leo, and so we're very strong-willed, and so he knew that once I came out and said who I was, that I was going to be just as strong in that as anything else that he saw me to be strong in. And so once he realized, and I think that part of what came to fruition with him was that he unfortunately became ill, and then he started to think about his own mortality, and it made me think about your grandfather, that when people start to think about their own mortality and things going on, they start to rethink. And I think he thought, because my brother died at a very young age of AIDS, at 26 years old, and I think he thought, do I want to leave this world and not have no relationship with either one of my sons? And I think that together with me going through my training in psychology and understanding that a lot of how people are is what they were taught.
Exactly, we all products of our environment, and I think that comes to affect how we think. When we come back, we'll finish hearing what Xavier has to say. We'll go ahead and listen to more of Manny and Nikki, and we'll get a professional and maybe a personal advice or final thought for all of you out there who actually relate to these stories. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back on C.Squared.
John. This is Romy. This is Nicole and Debbie.
Hi, Nicole. I'm Steve. How are you? Nice to meet you too. This is Steve from C.Squared for another segment of Boots on the Ground. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay. Nicole, how do you feel? Are you lesbian, by the way? Just want to make sure.
I am not. I am not, but I support them.
Here
She's
you
a
go.
big supporter.
Yeah,
she's practically a gay guy.
Yeah, she really is.
How do you feel about adoption kids in the gay community? How did you feel about that?
I think it's incredible because if they can provide a loving home for a child's need, why not? Love is love. Family's family.
Good answer, girl. Good answer.
Love is universal.
Hey,
We do, good.
Okay.
thank you, Nicole.
I say there's never a good reason to deny children love,
Okay.
period. And, no matter who can provide the love, whether it's gay, straight, doesn't matter. If love is love, and again, never deny love. That's my opinion.
And this is Steve from C.Squared on Boots on the Ground.
Whoever could we be? I can never be nothing but authentically me. If you're looking for a place to have crucial conversation, no longer have to fear, cause you can have them here. C.Squared.